In looking at this open source approach to handling a community site, we want to do a case study with Metanode. Now, when we look at creating websites, there's what we call a static bit. Every standard website should have it. Things like the disclaimer and the legal statement and the about the site and so on. Little areas for a search, and if you have registered users, an area to register. So this creates a fixed static part of the structure. Now, there's nothing wrong with static sites. They can be extremely valuable as references, but that's not really how one builds community, and that's what we want to create now, an interactive community. But let's just look at what we might have here that would be related to that. For instance, I don't know if you can see, but up at the top we've got the breadcrumb trail, down the left the navigation area, and down the bottom here we have these areas, the sort of fixed static pages, so that overall on the surface the structure looks pretty static and standard. The framework is set, a search box and a login area, so that gives the overall structure. What makes it really interesting is when we get past that to the dynamic bit and add this onto the layer. Now you can see here we've got things such as over on the right we've got the gatekeeper request here. So that's if you're adding new community areas, special interest groups, then you can have people enroll new users and new administrators. In this case we're building an open educational community, so we have a catalogue of courses by a whole variety of suppliers, and because we want to get past just a list of links, so many government sites are just a list of links without any added value, whereas if we can create authors, remote authorship and topic areas, then we can add so much more value and start to help people sort through the huge flood of information that comes through. Personalization allows us to subscribe to news areas and to have people who can have their My page or their own personal page. All of this then also requires an administration capability to identify new administrators through to creating and supporting a security model, and also if we're doing the semantic web, things like metadata. We'll come to that later. Now, so why do we want to make it dynamic, and why do we want to take it away from static? Because when you're creating a learning community, then people really do need to interact. Now, the formal training course would traditionally be more at the static end of what we would construct. So even taking it through to qualifications, in that sense not a lot of interaction is necessarily required. If you start to develop case studies and share with the team, you're immediately starting to collaborate, interact, create content and share it. As we go up to say mentoring, and that has different connotations in some areas, but mentoring, help and partnering, then we're really talking about creating a community that becomes self-governing. This will then fit through the whole educational life cycle, if you like, of a person, going from pre-vocational training through the vocational training through to continuing professional education. Now, we're going to deal with these things in a little bit more detail. We're going to look at the business case, which feel free to skip any of these and look at what you're focused on, but we just want to explain a bit more about why this can be useful, particularly in business and government in a distributed environment. The importance of personalization and how we would do this and some of the aspects of that, and supporting a catalogue here, and we'll then talk out the way in which we handle the community aspects of it to support this.